All right, what's going on, y'all? We are back live and gonna mix a rap song today. Sorry for the little late start. Had some technical difficulties with OBS here, but we are up and running now. So like I said, we're gonna mix a rap song here today, and I'm gonna get over into Studio One. Okay, so we've got here, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 tracks here and some vocals. So as usual, the first thing I'm going to do is just play through the song. Let's see, we'll try to get to both of these verses. I'll go ahead and play both verses here. And I'm going to try to keep this to, like an hour and a half, definitely under 2 hours, and see what we can get to. But we're going to start with just playing the song through. We're going to listen to it, take some notes, and, just kind of take a mental picture of what we're hearing that we want to change and address in getting this song mixed. And while I'm playing this, I'm just going to pull up the PreSonus VU meter here just to keep an eye on my levels, which I've already gained staged this down to like -12, but just to show you what's going on. One thing with this PreSonus VU meter, it does by default set its scale to 6, which a typical scale for a VU meter is 18. So if you use this, just kind of make sure you want to put that on 18, which is showing that 18 here would be 0 dB on the VU meter. All right, so let's play this and take a listen. This is a song called Revelations from an artist named J-dogg. And also any questions you have, just put them in the chat and I will get to them.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running over, pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Dude dropped out of school but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a false image. Fell off and should back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash, that was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I reap compensation. Relaunched out the pad and saw new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the trap, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuading. Eyes on the cash, so captivating. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty, they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB professional, so consummated. True hustle under God is what I'm demonstrating. Gon' stunt like my dad in this class to Mercedes. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. Alright. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they heart filled with envy. I promise they blinded by hatred. They not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. They heart filled with envy. I promise that they blinded by hatred. They not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. They heart filled with envy. I promise that they blinded by Athena sing a blessing, she ain't got a conscience. Most ill will, you can say demonic. Niggas head tails with the speed of Sonic. Played the whole world like the blue bonnet. International on the way to reach Miss Vonnet. Snake oil salesman out here selling tonic. I am the doctor, I prescribe the chronic. All natural, organic, and bionic. Street fighter, hands moving like he Honda. Beam, boom, bam, trap going bonkers. Rule brave and dripping, got these hoes popping. DM pictures, most of them erotic. I just delete them, truly I'm beyond it. I'm about the cash, really to be honest. Where was you when I was out here dead broke? Nowhere to be found, now isn't this ironic? Clubbish the pack, I run it back and touch down without pads in my pants. No aspirations of being the man. It come with the game when you're working demand. Rolling my L's, euphorically enhanced. Feeding my children while stacking my bands. You only live once, you gotta take a chance. Don't feed in perception at a first glance. All of these niggas projecting the image, they swear that they killers. You don't live that life. I know some niggas who really are killers. I'm talking about clip you and put you on ice. Life is a gamble, don't roll around dice. Debt collectors, come collect on your life. Thoughts going on, out of mind, out of sight. Out the flash of a dick, now you walk in the light. J-dogg, I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They
Okay, so first thing to take note, I'm hearing some distortion in the vocal. So this isn't I didn't record this one, so I'm not sure what it was recorded with, but definitely hearing some distortion in the vocal, so we'll look to clean that up. The sub bass, I really want to make sure that sub bass hits the low end, or fills up that low end, and definitely want to bring that pad up that I'm hearing as well, make sure that sits well in the frequency spectrum here. The strings, I definitely want those strings out in front. And one of the, I guess it's a lead sound here, I'm going to add some movement to that and just have it pan across the stereo field. So either going to do that with some automation or Sound Toys Pan Man. But as usual, I'm going to start with the drums. So I've got everything going to a VCA channel here. We'll mute everything except for the drums, and we're gonna start there. So I'm gonna see, we got kick, snare, cymbals. This might be a hi-hat, I think there. But we'll start with these drums here. Okay, so since I know I want that sub bass to really take up a lot of this low end, I'm going to use, for an EQ here, I'm going to use McDSP F202. Because I'm going to roll off the lows. I'm going to roll off some of the low end, but this EQ really allows this resonance peak here. So I'm able to roll it off at, say, 40. And then also add this peak here. So I'm kind of boosting above where I'm cutting off at, which should be good for this kick drum. Let's see if I can dial this into what I want. Okay, so I'm good with that. I'm gonna now still want to get a little more punch out of it, which is my go-to transient shaper here is actually is Wave Smack Attack, but let's try to switch things up here from what I normally go to. And what is that company? Metric Halo makes one I like called Thump. Why am I not seeing them? Might have it hidden. Yeah, here we go. It's not Thump. Yeah, they've got their own transient designer. Let's see what I can dial in with this. If I can't get what I want with this pretty quickly, I'll grab the Wave Smack Attack because I know I can dial that in real quick. Okay, so I'm good with that. Let's move over to the snare. This snare is kind of dark, which is kind of bothering me, but I don't want to change it too much because what the artist sent me is what they want here. So I might brighten it up just a little bit, but definitely gonna pull this thump over to add some attack to it. And let's grab an EQ for the snare here. Let's see. We'll go ahead and grab the fat channel for now. And which one of the ones I like on snare is this vintage one, which is like a 1073 style EQ. All right, so let's dial this in, and I'm going to try to get it to hit a little harder without... I'm going to try to keep this dark snare sound here for as long as I can here. Let's see. Okay, I might come and add some saturation to that. Just gonna move on along and see if I feel I need to go back to it. For the let's see, for the cymbals here, I'm just gonna add a little high end and get it balanced. Okay, and this sound here, I'm just gonna loop this and see what's going on in the low end. Not really much I hear I really need to do to this, but let's see. Yeah, definitely got some low end we want to roll off here. And I'm going to give it a little high mid bump for it to cut through. All right, let's take a listen to this. Okay, so I'm gonna probably put something on the drum bus here, and I'm thinking I Heart New York from Baby Audio, which you can get free right now with the Stay Inspired promotion that's going on Loopmaster's site. But let me go ahead and tackle this sub bass here. So let's see what we want to do to this. Let's take a listen to it with the drums here. Okay, so what I'm going to put on this is recent plugin I got from Waves, which is the Waves Submarine, which is really nice on sub basses and 808s. So I'm going to use this and dial in what I want on this sub bass. All right, let's hear that in the mix. All right, still feeling like I want to put a low shelf on it, so let's see. It's a shelf I like. Let's grab the retro EQ. And let's dial in a low shelf here. Okay, I'm happy with that. And I'm going to go ahead and throw the I Heart New York on this drum bus and just get a little parallel compression going with these drums. Alright, let's move on down to the sounds. I want to grab that lead sound first that I want to move. And I'm going to start there, see if I can find it here. Okay, yeah, that one. So I'm going to, let's see. I think I'm going to add some distortion to it to just give it some character. And yeah, then we'll get it to move around here. I'm going to go ahead and do some automation. I'm going to try automation first. If I can't get that dialed in as quickly as I want it, then I'll just grab Pan Man from Sound Toys. I'm trying to see where this crackling is coming from here. All right, I'm going to check see what's going on in the low end. All right, I'm going to move this EQ in front of the distortion because I don't want that low end to be distorted here. And let's grab some automation and get this to move around. Okay, I'm good with that. Let's keep moving through the sounds. And I said, if anybody has any questions, just drop them in the chat and I'll get to them. Let me find that low pad, that pad that's in the low end here. Yeah, let's get that taken care of. All right, not getting what I want from that. I'm gonna find something that it's kind of known for some color. I'm probably grab a pull tech style here and go for that. Let's do the Puig tech from Waves, and I'll probably add some saturation to this as well. But just want to get the tone and everything right first. So let's boost a little bit of lows with this and see what we get. Okay, so I boosted some of the high end on it as well. So we're going to listen to this in the mix and kind of make a decision on if I want to add some saturation to it or not. Yeah, I think I do. I'm gonna grab, let's see. Let's do, that's a stereo one. Let me find the mono version here of Vitamin. I want to add some saturation, but I only want to add it in the low end and low mids. Okay, I'm good with that. Let's find, they might be here, that lead. No, that's the bells. But let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to start by checking the low end on that. Okay, really don't hear anything EQ-wise I feel I need to do to that. Let's listen to it in the mix. Okay, so it's starting to get drowned out by some of the other sounds here. So I'm going to add some saturation and see if we can get it to cut through. Okay, I think that's good there. I'm going to bring the fader up on it just a little bit. Let's find, where's that lead? Yeah, let's handle that next. I'm start by checking the low end on that. Yeah, we'll roll some of this off. Music Lover, is it TW? Let's see, what 500 series rack do I suggest? Fredenstein racks, any good? Love what you're doing. Appreciate that. I've not used the Fredenstein racks before. The ones I suggest, almost all of the ones I have are the API ones. I don't know. I kind of feel like since API came up with the 500 series, I just feel like they would obviously do a real good job with their 500 series racks. So I've got 2 6-slot APIs, and I've got an 8-slot API, and I've got a 10-slot Trident Decadent that I've got in my rack. I wanted a 500 series rack that was rackable. I really like the Trident because it's got all of the connection options you can want. It's got XLR. It might have TRS. I think they're combo jacks with XLR, TRS, and they've got D sub as well. I've heard really good things about the Rupert Neve. I think it's R6, the Rupert Neve 500 series racks. I've heard a lot of good things about those, but I haven't used the Fredenstein ones before. So yeah, so my suggestions would either be if you want a portable one, then the Trident one wouldn't work, but either a API, which the 6-slot ones for whatever reason cost more than the 8-slot ones now, but I mean if you get a good deal on a used one, because I still think that the 6-slot ones are well worth it, because the 6-slot ones have XLR connections on the back, where the 8-slot ones only have D sub connections on the back, no XLR on it. So I mean, and if you get a good D sub to XLR snake, it's going to cost you $150, and that's just one way. That's just input. You still got to get the output. So, and honestly, that's the reason the 8-slot API I have is sitting over in the corner right now. It's not even hooked up. I don't take it to the studio. I take the 6-slot one because it's just easier to connect with the XLR connections on the back. All right, definitely think I'm going to boost some in the high mids here too to get this to cut through. Let's get this balanced. All right, so I know that sound is coming in when the hook comes in. So once we get the vocals in here, I might have to rebalance that, because I'm pretty sure that sound there is only playing during the hook. But I'm gonna leave it there for now. Let's do the strings. Let me see what these two sounds are. Yeah, something like that. I'm just gonna turn that up. And we're gonna get into some effects here, because I'm gonna actually put a delay on this. I think this will sound good with a delay. So let's see what we want to use here. Let's close that and I think something quick I can dial in. I'm just gonna grab the analog delay. All right, that's good there. Let's see. Tubular bell. I thought we already got this. Let's see what this is. Now we got two kind of bells. So let me. I feel like these are taking up the same frequency range. Let me find that other bell. I think this was it. Yeah, so I'm gonna listen to these and just hear how they're sounding together. Okay, so yeah, those are kind of in the same frequency range. So I'm going to, on this tubular bell track here, so I'm going to make some cuts, and I'm also going to pan it, and probably going to pan the other one. I think I already panned the other one. I did not. Okay, so yeah, we'll solve this with some EQ cuts and panning. We'll start with the panning. It's really not much. You can see most of the frequency here is just in the high mids. It's not really much I can cut. So let me try panning and see if we have to do anything else for it to keep it balanced in here. Okay, I'm good with that. Really, that panning it to the left really did the trick. You can hear them both in their own space now. But let's put it in the track and make sure it's all good there. I'm not hearing the tubular bells at all, so I'm just gonna push it up on the fader here till I hear it come in. Okay, so I don't think I've even pulled out well, except the I Heart New York. This we need some compression here because, so what I want is these three transients, these three bell hits. You'll notice that in listening to them, it's not by looking at them, but listening to them, that these first two are soft and then the last one is loud. So take a listen to that. So the last one is loud, and that's what I'm really hearing. I'm not really hearing the first two come in. So I'm going to grab, we get a compressor here and just even this out so we're hearing all three of those come through. And I'm thinking, where is that track? Here it is. I'm thinking, let's see. Let me try the Waves DBX. It should be something I can dial in pretty quickly. Actually, let's do the let's just do the Studio One compressor. All right, let's get this dialed in. Okay, so I'm getting 10 dB gain reduction on the last one. I'm gonna bring the threshold down just a little bit. It's still not even to me, but it's getting there. Okay, so that sounds even to me now. I'm going to just kick up the makeup gain just a little bit more, and yeah, I'm almost up to 0 on the fader, but I can push it up more if I need to. Let's get this balanced in now. That's getting there. That's good and present, but it's a little too loud in my opinion now. So I'm at +1. I'm gonna go down 2 dB to, well, let's go. I thought we were already at -2 before, but I will try to -2, and if it's too soft, I'll go up to -1. But it's almost balanced here. Yeah, that's it. So last sound before we move to the vocals are these strings. Let's get those in. Okay, so definitely gonna add some saturation to this, and I want to make them wider too. So I'm going to grab binaural pan here from PreSonus, and we'll just add some width, and then we'll get some saturation on here. Okay, and before the saturation, it was something I was just thinking about doing and I forgot. Let me see. Let's go ahead to the saturation. What do we want to use here? Oh, I know what I was thinking. I want these to sound a little more aggressive. So the Pulsar Smasher, I'm gonna add that. Which this is another one of the plugins that you can get free with the Stay Inspired promotion from Loop Masters right now. But this is basically an 1176 all buttons in mode. This isn't a 1176 where you can change the ratio and all that. It's just one fixed setting of all buttons in. So I'll dial this in and then I'll look for some compression here. All right. That's sounding good to me. I might not put any saturation on it, but I do want to put a little bit of reverb on it. And actually, I think I used this one in the last live mix I did. So let's do the one knob wetter. That's a real easy one to dial in here. All right, huge difference made there with the adding some reverb to those strings. Let's get the. All right, let's start on the vocals. So I'm gonna play the vocals back to kind of remind myself. I know there was some distortion in there we needed to deal with, but let's take one more listen with the vocals in here. Let's start from the first verse.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running full, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I can't dizzle, no stunting on Twitter. I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a false image. Fell off and should back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash, that was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block, so I reap compensation. Relaunched out the past, saw new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the drop, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuade. Eyes on the cage, so captivated. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty, they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean, MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB professional, so consummated. True hustle under God is what I'm demonstrating. Gon' stun like my dad in this class to Mercedes.
Okay, so yeah, definitely first thing we're gonna look to address is the distortion here. Going back to the chat real quick. Meal Production, so you've heard good things about the Stam audio. I haven't used the Stam audio. I met them at NAMM, but haven't used them. You have the Warm. Haven't used the Warm 1073 either. The most surprising 1073 clone or or whatever you want to call it, that I have that I really like is the Chameleon Labs 7603, and the another company that makes really good stuff that I heard is Audioscape as well, and they make LA2As and then 1073s, 1176s, all that. John Black, you say you want to see more live of Studio One. You mean using Studio One plugins? I just want to make sure I'm understanding you right. Just let me know. Let's address the distortion in here. So, let me see. What's really good for this is Isotope Rx. I've got the RX elements. I'm thinking about upgrading to just the full RX7 because the RX, everything in the RX elements works really well and has been really helpful. Where's that vocal at? Here. It's the RXD Clipper. So we got that on here, and I mean, a lot of the Isotope stuff, just the default setting is fine. So I'm going to play this now and bypass it so you can hear what it sounds like with it and without it. And it doesn't remove all of the, it's not going to magically fix this vocal, but it is going to help a lot. Or it should help a lot. Let's see.
Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running full, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I can't dizzle, no stunting on Twitter. I'm not seeking no mention. Walking.
Yeah, that's a lot better. So for now, let me bypass it and play it again. And actually, I'll go ahead and solo it so you can hear it more clearly.
Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running full, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I can't dizzle, no stunting on Twitter. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my
and with it back in.
Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running full, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind.
Okay, so yeah, that is helping a lot. So next thing I want to address is the S's in here. So normally my go-to de-esser is the Wave Sibilance. I'm going to use, if I can spell this right. If not, I'll just go find it. I think this is it. Yeah, this is the, what is this? DPR 402. This is a really nice de-esser built in. This is a compressor from Wave. So let's get this dialed in and so we can take care of some of these S's. John Black, you said want to see more live. Oh, Studio One tutorials. Yeah, I'm trying to like every other week. I'm trying to do one live, and I've already got one lined up for the next couple weeks. So, and if y'all want me to mix any of your sessions live, you can send them to me. I'll have that information in the show description, or you can email them to me. And as long as there's nothing, like this is like 10, 12 tracks, it's fine. It's going to take me too long to do something that's 20, 30 tracks. But if, as long as it's something I can get to within under 2 hours, send me the session and I'll mix them. I'm trying to do them every other week because every other week I record my podcast, the Faders Up podcast, and then I try to do, one weekend where I do the podcast, and then the next weekend I do a mix live. So I'm definitely trying to keep them coming, and I want to do one in Logic as well. I've got the 90-day trial for Logic, and if I can get to it before my trial expires, I'll probably end up purchasing it. But I want to do a mix in Logic just to do something different. For those who don't know, I started in Logic 5, like when I first started engineering. I went from Logic 5 to Pro Tools and then Pro Tools to Studio One. So I do want to do one in Logic. I think that'll be fun. Music Lover TW said, what was the recording signal chain for his vocal? I didn't record this one, so I don't know what he used. I'm trying to think. He's a good friend of mine. Artist is a good friend of mine. I'm trying to think of what he has, but I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea what mic and pre. I'm pretty sure he used the interface pre, and I can't remember what interface he has. I don't think he has a standalone pre, but I'm not sure what the signal chain is on this one. And this is one I really wanted to do because the vocal does have problems in it, and I kind of realized the stuff that I record, the vocals are done really well, so it's not much mixing that really has to be done. So I really wanted to do this one because it's gonna, we're gonna do some work on this vocal here to get it where it needs to be. Let's where are we at? The S's, dealing with the S's on here.
Beating my Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running over, pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Dude dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle, no stunting on Twitter. I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith won't display a false image. Fell off and should back. All I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash. That was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I recompensation. Relaunch start the pad, it's all new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the trap, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuade. Eyes on the cash, so captivating. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty did cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a day's. I mean, MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB professional, so
All right, and with setting the de-esser here, what I'm doing is I've got it set to just monitor the side chain, so I'm just listening to just what the de-esser is hearing, and I'm just trying to find the frequency where I'm hearing those S's jump out more than anything else.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them Smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running forward, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Dude dropped out of school but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle, no stunt and on to it. I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith won't display a false image. Fell off and should back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash. That was essential. The streets will be off from where I.
Okay, so I think that's done a good job of taming those S's. Next thing I'll move to is EQing. So I'll tell you what, let's try. This is a new EQ I just got from Waves. Not a new EQ from Waves because it's been around for a while, but this EQ4, which has not really something you would normally go to for surgical work, but there's enough frequencies on here that you can pretty much get to what you want. So I'm going to, and of course it's got the high pass filter. So yeah, let's try dialing this in with the VEQ4. I'm just gonna high pass it some here, and then just try to find some frequencies that we want to pull out and see if we can clean this vocal up a little bit.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking their nose in my business. The way I get cash at.
What's up, what the friggin'? Make sure I say that right. But yeah, this will be saved. Once this stream ends, it will post to my YouTube channel, so you can go back and watch it later, as well as some of the other mixes I've done live. So what happens is once I end the stream, it's gonna get uploaded to my channel, and then by the end of the night, I'm gonna go into the description and I'm going to list links for all of the plugins that I'm using here as well.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking their nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running forward, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Dude dropped out of school but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle, no stunt and on to it. I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith won't display a false image. Fell off and should back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash. That was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I recompensation. Relaunched out the pad and saw new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the trap, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuade. Eyes on the cash, so captivating. Ain't too much. Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking their nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running forward, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Dude dropped out of school but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle, no stunt and on to it. I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith won't display a false image. Fell off and should back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash. That was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I recompensation. Relaunched out the.
Okay, see, I'm really happy with this VEQ4 has done here, and it's really EQ I can see myself using a lot now that I have it. If you haven't been to Wave's site right now, they've got like spend $50, get one plugin free, spend $90, get two plugins free. So I got a couple plugins and ended up picking this one up for free. But it's got an output control, so I can boost the gain more if I need to, which I like, and it's really enough frequencies around here that I can do really what I want. But we've got cut 2 dB at 270, cut another 2 dB at 1.5, and let me see, 270. And we boosted a dB and a half at 3.3K, because I do want to make it just a little brighter. Not really trying to get an overly bright rap vocal, but I do feel like it's dark, just a little too dark. So this shelf at 3.3 is a really good option for this. Now I'm going to listen in here. I think I heard one spot somewhere in here. We're going to listen again and hear or listen for if I need compression. So what I'm listening for with needing compression is either parts that are too loud that I want to turn down, which I already know there's none in this, just from listening to it a couple times, or listening for low parts that need to come up. And I think there is a part somewhere in the middle where the vocal kind of dips a little bit, which is common in rap vocals, where especially when they get into the middle of the verse, because in this verse is more than 16 bars, so it's even longer than a typical rap verse. But you know, you get to the middle of the verse, you're rapping, you kind of start to lose breath a little bit, start to lose energy a little bit. So no surprise that the vocal dips some in rap vocals. So I think we're going to use some compression to just even that out and bring those low parts back up. I need to find where it is. I believe it's in the middle, so I'm just going to play it from probably about here and take a listen. And then once I find that part, I'll work on the compression for that part, and then it should just fit the rest of the vocal.
Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them spots in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a false image. Fell off and should back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cage, that was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I reap compensation. Relaunched out the pattern, so new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the drop, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuade. Eyes on the cage, so captivating. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty didn't cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB professional, so consummated. True hustle under.
Okay, so it's this part right here. I think it was the word loyalty, but let's listen to, up in here, you'll hear the vocal dip some.
All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty didn't cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't.
Okay, so so we're gonna bring that up with some compression, and let's see what I want to use. Let's try, I haven't really messed with this yet, but I just picked it up from Plugin Alliance, the Elysia Impressor. Okay, so let's start here and see if we can get this. Let's see if we can get dialed in for this. So I'm going to loop just that part and set this compressor, see if we can get the, bring that low level where the vocal starts to dip and bring that up.
All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty didn't cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB preparations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty didn't cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB preparations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty didn't cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB preparations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty didn't cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB preparations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty didn't cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB preparations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty, they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a day's. I mean, MOB, man, it ain't that complicated. HB preparations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty, they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a day's. I mean, MOB, man, it ain't that complicated. HB preparations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty, they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a day's. I mean, MOB, man, it ain't that complicated. HB preparations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty, they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a day's. I mean, MOB, man, it ain't.
Okay, so we're starting to level out here, and I'm just gonna add like 1 more dB on the makeup gain here. So with compression, kind of just this UI is kind of small. Is this resizable? No. Okay. Yeah, kind of had to squint to see this, but yeah, I'm liking what this is giving me here, so I think we'll stick with this. But just a quick tip on compression, like bringing up that low level. That's what the makeup gain is going to do. So with the makeup gain, we're turning up those lower parts of the signal, and of course setting our threshold to bring down those higher parts. So let me check one more time and see what the how much gain reduction we're getting here. I think like 7.5 at the most, but let's see.
I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the trap, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuade. Eyes on the cash, so captivating. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because
Okay, so yeah, we're at like 7.5 dB of gain reduction. And here's a tip on setting the release. I've got 250 millisecond release, and I could probably I'm gonna come down about 220 something. So with setting the release, so what I'm watching for on the release is I want the phrase, when the phrase ends and he's not rapping even for that split second, I want the gain reduction to go back to 0 before it kicks in again. If it doesn't, then I'm likely doing too much compression, and when he starts rapping again, the signal is already going to be turned down because the gain is still being reduced on the compressor. So when you set your release, make sure that when you set your release for rap vocals, really any vocals, just make sure that it goes back to 0 before the next phrase starts. So I'm going to play it and just watch the gain reduction meter on when the phrase ends. You'll notice that it goes back to 0 before he starts rapping again.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a false image. Fell off and shit back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash, that was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I recompensation. Relaunched out the pad and saw new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the trap, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuade. Eyes on the cash, so captivating. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty, they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a day's. I mean, MOB, man, it ain't that complicated. HB professional, so consummated. True hustle under God is what I'm demonstrating. Gon' stun like my dad in this class to Mercedes.
Okay, so I am good with that, and let's move on. So I've got this track is where he doubled his vocal, and when I mix vocals and the artist sends me a double track, I don't use the double track. What I do is I use the double track to make ad-libs. So I'll show you that. So I'm going to first unmute these. Actually, let's come back to that and let's knock out these ad-libs here on this track. I'm going to get a delay on this as well. Let's treat this first, and of course we'll start by checking what's in the low end, which I see some noise here that's just going on in here. So what I'm gonna do is grab the fat channel. Actually, I'm gonna change the color of this because that's better. Okay, I'm gonna grab the fat channel because it has the gate on it as well. So I'm gonna set a gate so when this is not going on, it's gonna silence. Even though we probably can't hear this, but even look at the waveform here, I can see some noise here. Let's actually, well, before we get too crazy about that, let's just see what's going on there.
Yep. Bow.
Yeah, not something that'll be audible in the tracks. I'm not really worried about it, but just because we can, we'll go ahead and fix that. So I'm gonna start. Let's get some high pass going on here, maybe up to 100, and now let's get this gate dialed in.
Yep. Bow. Yep. Huh. J-dogg. Huh. Bow. Yep. Huh.
Okay, so what this gate is doing is, when he's doing his ad-libs, it's going to open up, let the sound out. But when he's quiet, the gate is going to turn on, push the sound down, so we're not hearing that background, all that background noise here, which seems to be like a little buzz and just some room noise. But with the range here, the more you turn this range down, the further down it's going to go, which you would think that, oh, I want it down all the way. I want it to turn down all the way. But you got to keep in mind when setting a gate, if you have this range all the way down, once the sound comes back in, the further you have this down, the more it's going to take to turn on and come up, because this has to come. It's not just going to just turn on. It has to come up, and you'll see it as I play it here. That's how it slowly goes down. It has to come up too. So you don't want this down too far because you'll start to cut off words. So I forgot where I had it, but I think typically, down something like 3640 dB is normally where I set my gates, even a little higher if I need to. Okay, so let's go ahead and just add some compression, because all these ad-libs I'm sure aren't level. So we'll go ahead and add, let's see here. Do the good CL1LB emulation here. And so let's get some gain reduction going for these. And then actually, let's flip that and put the EQ on. Let's EQ it first, and then we'll add compression. Let me listen to this and see what really needs to be done here.
Yep. Bow. Yep.
Okay, actually,
J-dogg.
what I'm gonna do is, let's see. We'll go ahead and dial in a little bit of compression. I was just gonna copy over the settings from the original vocal, from the verse, because a lot of times when you're mixing a song and it's just one voice and it's the same voice, a lot of times you can get away with using the same settings again. So, but we'll go ahead and dial in some compression here. I really don't hear much EQ wise. I might boost a little low mids, but I'm just gonna see how it sounds in the track first before I do all that. You always want to check to see what you're doing sounds good in the mix. So let's get some compression on this.
Yep.
All right, that's probably good there. Like I just want like 3 to 5 dB compression just in case some of these, and I haven't went through and listened to them all, which if I was taking the time to sit here and mix it, I would, but I just want to make sure that all these ad-libs are out and can be heard, and something isn't said a lot lower than the other one. But we'll listen for that as I listen through. And I guess let's go ahead and get some delay on this as well. We've already got delay tracks set up. Let's kill that. And let's see what we want to use. Let's do good old H delay. All right, let's get this dialed in.
Yep. Bow, 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 bow. Yep, 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 yep. How you offended? Them spots in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, my main pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a false image. Fell off and shit back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash, that was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I reap compensation. Relaunched out the pad and saw new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the trap, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuade. Eyes on the cash, so captivating. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty did cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB professional, so consummated. True hustle under God is what I'm demonstrating. Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them spots in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, my main pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became dizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking.
Okay, so I'm good with that. So let's see. I'm gonna now create my own ad-libs with these parts here, and the way I do that is with automation. So I'm gonna automate. I'll do mute, which this track here. Actually, if we do that, let's go ahead and just copy over some settings. Now, even though I copied over these settings, I don't want this track to be up front like the lead vocal. So, well, I've already got it back down some here. Okay, so yeah, so I'm just gonna back this down on the fader and pan it. I've got this panned to the right just a little bit. So even before I do the automation, I'm just gonna make sure it's sitting where I want it to sit.
forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became bizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a false image. Fell off his.
Okay, so let's get the. Let's click the mute here and set up an automation track. And I'm not gonna. It's just gonna be just a few spots through here. I'm gonna bring it in. So and I've got a fader port 8 here. So once I set this up, let's find the track on the fader port. Here we go. And I can mute it, unmute it. So at least I'm going to set this to, I'm going to set it to touch. And once I hit play, I'm going to just mute. I'm going to have it muted when I don't want to hear it, and then just unmute it when I want that phrase to come in.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became bizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a false image. Fell off his back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash, that was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I reap compensation. Relaunched out the pad and saw new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so inundated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the trap, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuade. Eyes on the cash, so captivating. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB professional, so consummated. True hustle under God is what I'm demonstrating. Gon' stun like my dad in this class to Mercedes.
Okay, so I heard one spot in there that I hit it that I feel like it shouldn't, and I forgot where it was. But yeah, let's listen to that back.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I became bizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a.
Okay, yeah, that seeking that line about Twitter seeking no mention. I shouldn't have put one there. I'm losing what was. It makes the lead vocal hard to tell what was said. So let me find that and remove that.
That was essential. The streets will be off from Twitter. I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off. On Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off faith, won't display a.
Okay, so I'm good with that. We can move on. We can move on to the hook now. Just a quick note. This line here.
I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it.
So what I did there is where's the track inspector? All I did was take that and set the transpose to -4 and just transposed it down some. And when I do stuff like that or use event effects in Studio One or make changes to like just one region, I'll color code it differently so I can quickly get back to something that I changed for just that line or something like that. That's a little tip there. So let's take a listen to the hook now, and I did the same thing in the hook with these ones that are color coded. I just transposed them down.
Like my dad in this class to Mercedes. J-dogg, I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they hearken we in. I promise they blinded by hatred. They not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. They hearken we in. I promise that they blinded by hatred. They not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan.
Okay, I think we can get away with using a lot of the same settings from the verse on here. Definitely need the declipper, so let's get, it's over here. Let's get that going. I'm gonna go ahead and bring over the same de-esser settings. Oh, well, and EQ too. Let's see. Well, I guess we can leave that. Put that in between. Okay. Okay, so let's take off this delay. We'll try the same delay that we have on the Ad-Libs. That should work. If I was sitting here and taking the time to mix this, I'd probably grab a different delay just to have a little different sound. But let's see if we can get away with just using the same delay that we used on the Ad-Lib here. Now let's take a listen to this, and I'm gonna see if we can balance it and see if there's anything else that needs to be done to it. Music Lover TW, how you can get in contact? You can just shoot me an email. My email will be in the description of this video once it's up. My email is, I think it's at the beginning of each of my YouTube videos too. Here, I'll drop it in the chat here. I don't think I can put a whole link, but that, I know that looks crazy, but that should be enough if you get my email address there. All right, let's balance this hook.
Dad in this class to Mercedes. J-dogg, I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they heart filled with envy. I promise they blinded by hate. They not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. They heart filled with envy. I promise that they blinded by hate. They not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. They heart filled with envy. I promise that they blinded by hate.
All right, I think that's pretty good. What time we're at? 1 hour 40. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do the second verse. I'm gonna let the And the second verse is on another track down here, and we'll see if we can get away with moving the same settings over. I think the second verse is just a little louder, so it may need just a little tweaking. But I'm gonna let this hook roll into the verse, and we'll kind of take it from there. Eddie Taylor, appreciate that.
J-dogg, I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they heart filled with envy. I promise they blinded by hate. They not who they claim.
Just to quickly explain what I just did there. So that these two tracks were kind of to give it a little, switch it up a little bit. I just set the high pass filter up to 270, and now it kind of has a little bit of that telephone type effect, and it just helps distinguish the two, these two tracks here, the lead one and the one behind it.
J-dogg, I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue.
So that's what we got now, and then this is what we had before.
J-dogg, I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they heart filled with envy. I promise they blinded by hate. They not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. They heart filled with envy. I promise that they blinded by hate. They not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. They heart filled with envy. I promise that they blinded by hate. Ain't no single blessing. She ain't got a conscience. Most ill will. You can say demonic. Niggas head tails with the speed of Sonic. Played the whole world like the blue bonnet. International on the way to reach Miss Vonnet. Snake oil salesman out here selling tonic. I am the doctor. I prescribe the chronic. All natural, organic, and bionic. Street fighter hands moving like he Honda. Beam, boom, bam. Trap going bonkers. Rule brave dripping.
Okay, yeah, so let's move over these plugins and start to take care of this verse. All right, let's take a listen to what we got.
I promise that they blinded by hate. Ain't no single blessing. She ain't got a conscience. Most ill will. You can say demonic. Niggas head tails with the speed of Sonic. Played the whole world like the blue bonnet. International on the way to reach Miss Vonnet. Snake oil salesman out here selling tonic. I am the doctor. I prescribe the chronic. All natural, organic, and bionic. Street fighter hands moving like he Honda. Beam, boom, bam. Trap going bonkers. Rule brave dripping. Got these hoes popping. DMing pictures. Most of them erotic. I just delete them. Truly, I'm beyond it. I'm about the cash. Really, to be honest. Where was you when I was out here dead, bro? Nowhere to be found. Now, isn't this ironic? Publish the pack. I run it back and touch down without passing my pants. No aspirations of being the man. It come with the game when you're working demand. Rolling my L's, euphorically in hands. Feeding my children while stacking my bands. You only live it once, you gotta take a chance. Don't feed in perception at a first glance. All of these niggas projecting the image, they swear that they killers, you don't live that life. I know some niggas who really are killers. I'm talking about clip you and put you on ice. Life is a gamble, don't roll the wrong dice. Debt collectors, come collect on your life. Thoughts going on, out of mind, out of sight. Out the flash of a dick, now you walk in the light. I just had out the flash of a dick, now you walk in the light.
I'm missing an effect here. I'm not hearing this.
Now you walk in the light.
It's just low. Okay, so yeah, I think those settings pretty much work for this verse, and I'm pretty happy with it. There's one thing, and my last two mixes doing this, I forgot to do this, but I do use bus compression, and I forgot to add some here. So normally I do this early on once I get once I'm through with the drums and music. I typically add bus compression then, and then get to working on the vocals through the bus compressor. But let's go. Let's see. Let's do the. I'm still kind of messing with this one. It's a newer one I got. So it's not a lot of plugins I honestly like for bus compression because I use hardware for my bus compression. But the DCAM from FX Expansion is a free one that I really like. The Ssl Buss Compressor is another plug-in bus compressor I like. The one from SSL. The Waves one is okay to me. But I'm still kind of messing with this one to decide if I like it. This is based off of SSL. And I will say one reason I don't use the Waves SSL one is just it doesn't have a high-pass filter on it, which is very important when mixing hip-hop, in my opinion, for bus compression. The high-pass filter doesn't allow the bass to drive the compression. So this one does have a high-pass filter, or sidechain filter, you may see it called. So let's see if I can dial this in, and hopefully it doesn't change the mix too much. But what I'm looking for with this bus compressor is really just to add some overall glue to the mix here. Let's see what we got.
Blinded by hate, a thing to sing a blessing. She ain't got a conscience, most ill will. You could say demonic niggas head tails with the speed of Sonic. Played the whole world like the blue bonnet. International on the way to reach Miss Vonnet. Snake. Blinded by hate, a thing to sing a blinded by hate, a thing to sing a blessing. She ain't got a conscience, most ill will. You could say.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the stream. I'm gonna figure out where this distortion is coming from.
Blinded by hate, a thing to sing a blessing. She ain't got a conscience.
I'm gonna just disable everything in the session real quick.
Blinded by hate, a thing to sing a blessing. She ain't got a conscience, most ill will. You could.
Yeah, it's still in there. Let me see. Last time it just went away on its own. So I'll tell you what. If anybody got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And I'm just gonna give this a second, see if that crackling goes away, because it's not. My CPU's not clipping, so I don't know if that's the stream or what may be going on there. But yeah, we'll give this just a few minutes and see what happens here. I'll tell you what. Go ahead, and if you have any questions, go ahead, leave it in the chat. I'm going to run grab a bottle of water, and I'll be right back, and hopefully this crackling has resolved itself. All right, I'm back. Eddie Taylor used to count my tracks, bounce one or two. It's not a. I honestly just think I need a new computer. I'm hoping that Apple announces an iMac really soon, but I think something's just wrong with the audio engine in my iMac. But I checked my CPU and it's nowhere near, even on playback. I mean, we're at like 25%. So yeah, it's not a. And I had this issue, I think, with the last live I did. So I'm not sure. Let's hit play and see if this has kind of resolved itself here.
That they blinded by hate. A thing to sing a blessing. She ain't got a conscience. Most ill will. You could say demonic. Niggas head tails with the speed of Sonic. Played the whole world like the blue bonnet. International on the way to reach Miss Vonnet. Snake oil salesman out here selling tonic. I am the doctor. I prescribe the chronic. All natural, organic, and bionic. Street fighter hands moving like he Honda. Beam, boom, bam. Trap going bunkers. Rule gravy dripping. Got these hoes popping. DMing pictures. Most of them erotic. I just delete them, truly I'm beyond it. I'm about the cash, really to be honest. Where was you when I was out here dead broke? Nowhere to be found, now isn't this ironic? Publish the pack, I run it back and touch down without pads in my pants. No aspirations of being the man. It come with the game when you're working demand. Rolling my L's, euphorically in hands. Feeding my children while stacking my bands. You only live once, you gotta take a chance. Don't feed in perception at a first glance. All of these niggas projecting the image, they swear that they killers, you don't live that life. I know some niggas who really are killers. I'm talking about clip you and put you on ice. Life is a gamble, don't roll the wrong dice. Debt collectors, come collect on your life. Thoughts going on, out of mind, out of sight. Out the flash of a dick, now you walk in the light. J-dogg, I just had.
Okay, so I think I do like this bus compressor here. One thing, when I was in school, I mixed a lot on it. Ssl Duality, which has the Ssl Buss Compressor in it, and so I really grew to like Ssl Buss Compressor. So I'm really picky about Ssl Buss Compressor clones, emulations, whether it's plugins or gear, because I know what an Ssl sounds like. And one characteristic of an Ssl Buss Compressor to me is I feel like the mid-range comes forward a little bit when you engage it, and I'm hearing that here with this compressor, so I am liking that. And I'm happy with where this is set now, just getting a couple dB compression on here. So what I'm gonna do now is, if anybody has any other questions before we wrap this up, let me know. I'm gonna play it back, and I'm just going to bypass and bring in and out all the plugins so you can hear where we started and where we are now.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so I...
Actually, I do see one more thing we need to do, which is just, I can go ahead and do the automation on this track for the Ad-Lib. So let's do that real quick.
That they blinded. That they blinded by hate. A thing to sing a blessing. She ain't got a conscience. Most ill will. You could say demonic. Niggas head tails with the speed of Sonic. Played the whole world like the blue blue bonnet. International, only way to reach Miss Funny. Snake oil salesman out here selling tonic. I am the doctor, I prescribe the chronic. All natural, organic, and bionic. Street fighter, hands moving like he Honda. Beam, boom, bam, trap going bonkers. Rule brave and dripping, got these hoes popping. DMing pictures, most of them erotic. I just delete them, truly I'm beyond it. I'm about the cash, really to be honest. Where was you when I was out here dead broke? Nowhere to be found, now isn't this ironic? Publish the pack, I run it back and touch down without pads in my pants. No aspirations of being the man. It come with the game when you're working demand. Rolling my L's, you
Yeah, it seems to somehow linked back to the first verse. I'll have to look at that. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the second verse here.
I promise that they blinded by hatred. I think the single blessing, she ain't got a conscience. Most ill will, you could say demonic. Niggas head tails with the speed of Sonic. Played the whole world like the blue bonnet. International, on the way to reach Miss Funny. Snake oil salesman out here selling tonic. I am the doctor, I prescribe the chronic. All natural, organic, and bionic. Street fighter, hands moving like he Honda. Beam, boom, bam, trap going bonkers. Rule brave and dripping, got these hoes popping. DMing pictures, most of them erotic. I just delete them, truly I'm beyond it. I'm about the cash, really to be honest. Where was you when I was out here dead broke? Nowhere to be found, now isn't this ironic? Publish the pack, I run it back and touch down without pads in my pants. No aspirations of being the man. It come with the game when you're working demand. Rolling my L's, euphorically in hands. Feeding my children while stacking my bands. You only live when you're working demand. Rolling my L's, euphorically in hands. Feeding my children while stacking my bands. You only live once, you gotta take a chance. Don't feed in perception at a first glance. All of these niggas projecting the image, they swear that they killers. You don't live that life. I know some niggas who really are killers. I'm talking about clip you and put you on ice. Life is a gamble, don't roll the wrong dice. Debt collectors come collect on your life. Thoughts going on out of mind, out of sight. Out the flash of a dick, now you walk in the light. I just
All right, I think we're good there. I'm going to turn up this ad-lib track about 4 dB or 5 dB should be good. All right, let's play everything bad. Might have messed up my muting on the first verse. We'll see. Well, let's play it back now.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist. Show me how to hustle, I but can't dizzle. No stunting on Twitter, I'm not seeking no mention. Walking off, they won't display a false image. Fell off and should back, all I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash, that was essential. The streets.
All right, so that's the mix, and this is with everything bypassed.
Father, forgive me, I come as a sinner. Please send your blessings, I walk amongst wicked. Start getting cash, now they playing me different. Refuse to play victim, it's hard to be Christian. My neighbor keep poking her nose in my business. The way I get cash at a point of contention. Feeding my children, so how you offended? Them smiles in my face make it hard to be civil. Cup running 4, I mean pages on empty. I see it, I want it, I grind and I get it. Do dropped out of school, but renowned as a chemist.
All right, and one more time with the plugins and everything we've mixed back on.
False image fell off and should back. All I seek is redemption. I'm all about cash. That was essential. The streets will be off from where I originated. So work on the block so I reap compensation. Relaunched out the pad and saw new elevation. I was dead broke, I felt so when you dated. Back against the wall and the lions awaken. Back to the trap, the signs are indicating. Your pockets on empty, don't take much persuading. Eyes on the cash, so captivating. Ain't too much pride in my life alterations. All of their weight around get amputated. That's because loyalty, they cut the bacon. That's because work ethic was like a days. I mean, MOB man, it ain't that complicated. HB professional, so consummated. True hustle under God is what I'm demonstrating. Gon' stun like my dad in this class to Mercedes. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father, they not who they claim. They worship in the synagogue of Satan. I just had a revelation. I just had a revelation. Father.
All right, so I wanted to throw the level meter on there at the end just to show you where my levels are. I'm peaking at right at -6 here, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. We've hit 2 hours. I try to keep this like right at 2 hours or below. So once this stream ends, all the plugins that I used, I'll have links to them and everything in the description. If you want to send me your sessions for me to mix live, I'll have my contact information in the description as well. Again, as long as it's, I forgot what the track limit I said, I think like 15 tracks or something like that. It's something I can get to, within like 2 hours. I'm not doing any 20, 30, 40 track sessions. Also, be sure to check out my podcast, the Faders Up podcast, which is a pro audio podcast. We talk about everything from, I label it as pro audio and beyond, because we don't just talk pro audio, but we also talk music business and just anything pro audio. So definitely check that out. It's on all platforms. But thanks everyone for checking in. I'm trying to do this like every other week, so everything goes well, I'll be back in 2 weeks with another mix here live. And John Black, I know you said we got Studio 15 coming Tuesday. So yeah, looks like my next one will hopefully be on Studio 1. I mean, it's pretty obvious we're getting Studio 15 July 7th now. But yeah, so that should be fun. All right, thanks y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all next time.